We call this annual cheese meeting to order. I can't believe it's been like a year since we've like sat down and had cheese.
It's actually been a year.
It's almost been a year. Yeah. Well, we call this cheese meeting to order because it was necessary, but also because we're all super, super busy and it's harvest and I personally am tired and I am finding myself without a lot of time to like make dinners and to prep things, be a human, sleep, shower, things like that. So I figured since we all have one night off, let's all get together and come up with like really easy snacks that we can prep within 15 minutes from things that we normally have in our fridge and have a little friendly competition. And then also, because we're all wine geeks, try to figure out which wines are gonna go best with which foods. That way we have a game plan if we come home really late or really tired, which we're often doing right now. I basically gave you guys the parameters of making sure that we use the President butter, the Madrigal Swiss cheese, Saint Andre,
butter masquerading as cheese.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. Butter masquerading as cheese. It's like straight up just cheese porn. It's so good. Soft, creamy, like a triple cream. And then also the blue cheese, which I feel like gets a bad rap sometimes. It's so good. It's so underused. And I really wanted to make a point to like bring blue cheese back into the family. So
blue
that
cheese
was
Amanda. The white Zinfandel.
Well,
the cheese world.
It's so mean. It's just like, it's misunderstood. I just think it's a very misunderstood cheese. But I also want to add, because we did talk a lot about in our last video, the inability to pair red wine with cheese and how we're sitting here with like several red wines in front of us and lots of cheese. So we don't contradict ourselves and everyone out there isn't like, but wait, I thought you said no red wine with cheese. Okay, yes, we totally did say that. But here's the thing, when you start pairing cheeses with other things like steak and olive tapenade, rules start to go out the window a little bit.
And your house is not a 3-star Michelin restaurant.
That is a fact.
So you are not necessarily creating the perfect pairing of all time. You are creating the perfect pairing of what you have.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, you know, red wine and cheese is like, it's a faux pas, like we talked about. However, there are situations like when you're tired and can't see straight and haven't showered in 3 days, when it makes sense.
Because alcohol and food in your mouth.
And hunger is the best spice.
All right, Jilly, you're up first.
Don't tell Julie. So at the end of the night, I'm always craving salty things, but then want sweet to counter it, which is why I have 2 different iterations of basically the same thing. I'm also a total sandwich freak. I will eat any sort of sandwich because it's my favorite food to ever exist. Using an open-faced sandwich makes me feel better about my bread consumption, which is why these are 2 open-faced sandwiches. So both using the Swiss cheese. One is topped with fresh apples because apple season, yay, October. And the other is topped with roasted red pepper and olive tapenade. All things that I typically have in my house on top of fresh bread. So the easiest way for me to get fed at the end of the night.
I also thought it was really interesting to see what you normally have in your fridge versus like what I normally have in my fridge, because I think sometimes like everybody's fridge is stocked with such weird things that I was like, I could do this by myself or I could get other humans involved like you two who have like totally different things. And it's so interesting because I don't ever have olive tapenade stocked in my fridge, but I want to now. I always want to have like Madrigal Swiss, apples, and tapenade. So like when I'm shopping at the grocery store or on Amazon, because that's where I shop, now I want to have that in my fridge. So can we taste it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I pretty much always have some form of Beaujolais in my house. So Beaujolais is going to be my go-to for both of these, just out of necessity and availability. But I'm excited to see how they taste with some of the other options we have, like the white Bordeaux. And can I pour any on some Beaujolais?
Oh yes, please. Oh, also on the note of glasses, who here hates washing wine glasses when you're super tired?
Yep.
Also, my really fancy wine glasses hate when I wash them because I usually break them when I'm tired. So not only did we want to pick wines that were really, really easy to find even at like your local grocery store, just like all of these cheeses, but we also wanted to pick wines that could be appropriately consumed in a wine tumbler, because at the end of the night, the last thing I'm gonna do is wash a wine glass and break it, which I always do 100% of the time.
This is also because Amanda drinks out of Zaltos, so it's either one end of the spectrum or the other. So it's either it's gonna crumble in her hands at the end of the night, or it's pretty sturdy and she can throw it against the wall. High brow, low brow, nothing in between.
For comparison's sake, do we want to do a little white side by side?
Yeah, let's do this. So we have a little white Bordeaux Chateau Bonnet. I believe it is a Sauvignon Semillon Muscadel blend.
Correct.
Am I correct?
It is 50, 40, 10 in that order.
Cool. I love that there's screw top. That's really nice for putting back in your fridge and not worrying about the cork not being the protector that you need it to be, like it was the other day, and spilled all of my cauliflower. Oh, fantastic.
Pre-marinated cauliflower? No work needed.
Yeah.
I think the rosé could be really cool to like sort of just thinking like where you consume a lot of olives and where they make a lot of rosé. Provence, Mediterranean could be kind of cool.
Yep. I like it. Savory then sweet, sweet then savory. Anybody care? Just do it.
Yeah, dealer's choice.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. Oh my god, you know what it tastes like, Julie?
What?
It tastes like an Italian hoagie.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, I got it.
Philly girl.
Philly.
Coming through.
I'm just taking the girl out of Philly. It's like a fancy Italian hoagie.
Yeah.
Well, it's so
love
good. Like, because this cheese is like, it has that provolone texture.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love it with the Beaujolais.
Yeah.
It's
I
so
love it with
good.
the Beaujolais.
George DeBoeuf coming to the rescue, Beaujolais Village. Do you know there are numerous types of George DeBoeuf Beaujolais on the shelf? So if you see Beaujolais Nouveau, which you will at the end of November, Thursday, Beaujolais Nouveau is very different than Beaujolais Village, which we have here. So the Beaujolais Nouveau will be a lot fruitier, kind of bubblegum-like. You're welcome to watch that video. I'll link it above. All about Beaujolais Nouveau. Back to eating. I too often have Beaujolais, just like several bottles. Just
well, because it's so easy to have it around, and it's one.
And it goes with that.
Right, and you were saying
juicy.
red wine, it's harder to keep it longer. Beaujolais keeps for a pretty long time, as long as you're putting it in the fridge after each use.
I agree with that. Can we just say hooray for snacks, and this is my favorite way of eating?
Yeah, this is my favorite way of eating.
If I could just snack on things like all day, I probably would.
I do.
I
think other people judge, but I need a snack like every 2 hours.
I love snacks.
Yeah,
I think
snacks
I
are my
need
favorite.
that very
I don't
clear.
ever want to be full. I want to always be hungry for what might be coming next.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
It can be a problem if nothing's coming next.
What do you mean there's no more food?
You get caught in a situation where you don't have snacks for a few hours.
I think it's so strange how apples and cheese go together.
Yeah.
It's like one of life's mysteries.
Sweet. It's crunch. They're crunchy.
Yeah.
They're a little sweet. They're acidic. They're juicy. They make a really good gluten-free base.
Yep.
For cheese.
Tapenade cheese bread with the Beaujolais, spot on, and then the apple cheese bread situation with the Bordeaux Blanc.
Because the apple's a little floral. And
it is. It works really well with it.
It's a little floral.
Yeah.
It's surprisingly really complimentary.
It like feel. I would love to try it with a Pinot Blanc too. I think that would be really delicious. I should also note that the Trimbach Pinot Blanc is also like readily. I see it everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like readily available. It's a great wine.
Actually, everything that Trimbach bottles with this label that you'll see on most grocery store shelves is so reliable and so easy to drink and usually delicious.
Yeah.
I want to know more about this rosé.
Fresh.
Who knows something about it?
So it's from the south of France, from the Pays d'Oc. I'm reading off the back of the label. I don't know this.
You sound
Whatever,
good.
that's very educational.
30% Sanso, 20% Syrah, and 50% Grenache, which is a pretty standard blend for Provençal Rosé and Provençal Reds as well.
This also, I'll link where you can
delicious.
find all of these wines. By the way, they'll all be in the description below. But this also gives you 2 extra glasses in every bottle. Yes.
I was gonna say, is that a liter?
Yeah. I'm loving the liter.
Your
Ooh,
rosé all
loving the
day
nose
can
on that.
be shared with a few more friends.
Well, that's tasty. I like that. It's like summer, except we're in fall. It's delicious.
I do like the Pinot Blanc. I mean, Trimbach does everything. From their entry level to high end, it's all quality.
Yeah, you know, there are very few that have that spread and the capability of having like really great low end and then awesome, like just killer high end. All right, friends, next up, we're going to Blue Cheese Town. always have steak in my fridge.
She really does.
I really,
It's
truly
true.
do. I always have steak. Whether it's like cooked or it's left over. I sometimes have bread. I will say I don't always have bread, but I always have some sort of cracker. So whether it's like a water cracker or bread or apple, I always have that as like a base. And then the blue cheese is like very easy. And as I learned earlier, you can freeze blue cheese. I had no idea. So I cooked the steak, but oftentimes I have the leftover steak and I never microwave my steak. Never, never, never. I would rather wash a million pans before I like microwave my steak, mostly because I like it underdone. So basically what I do is if I have to reheat my steak or make my steak very quickly, I throw butter in the pan. So I use the President butter. I put the steak in there, either cooked or raw, and then I only cook it to about mid-rare, and then I take it out. The renderings I set aside, and then I dip the bread in the renderings, which, oh, so good. And then I put the steak back on top, the blue cheese, and then I throw it back in the oven in the broiler for like 4 to 5 minutes and just get it like nice and melty and gooey and
So
it's basically
I'm pretty
like
I'm like getting a little impatient right
okay,
now.
yeah. It's like the Philly girl coming out of me. It's like a very fancy Philly cheesesteak, except not really, but please do allow me. I also cut off my crust because I hate crust, as you guys have learned.
Can you tell us why you hate crust though?
Oh,
It's
because
a very specific reason.
it really is. It's not the flavor. So when you toast your bread, it gets really crispy and crunchy, and then it scores the top of my mouth, and it hurts.
Yeah.
And then I'm really angry, and I have to like get through all of that crustage to get to like the goodness that's inside, and then I spend my whole life waiting for like the goodness. It's just obnoxious. You know, my grandmother used to lie to me and tell me that if I ate my crust, I would get curly hair.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
And
you want
wanted
curly hair real bad?
Terribly. I have like poker straight hair, and all I wanted as a kid was curly
that
hair.
was perm time.
And
was
I had perms,
Oh.
and I had hair that looked like yours. It was.
Didn't like Kelly on Saved by the Bell have curly hair?
I think like all
I
the
think
cool girls in the
everyone.
early 90s had like really cute curly hair, and I wanted curly hair. So my grandmother was like, if you eat the crust on your sandwiches, you'll get curly hair. And
Wow.
I really truly believed her for an embarrassing long
Brainwashing.
time.
Yep.
Brainwashing.
Brainwashing.
Yeah, but I respect her for it. I don't anymore because carbohydrates, but steak sandwich time, shall
Yeah.
Definitely.
we? The classiest steak sandwich you ever did see.
With
Yep.
the Chateau Lenoir, which is a very similar blend to the rosé.
That's true.
50%
Yeah.
Grenache, 30% Syrah, 15% Mourvèdre, and then 5% of the Sanso.
Oh yeah, that's so good. The renderings actually like really make the bread like nice and soggy.
Blue cheese is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all really loved the steak with the blue cheese. However, none of us looked attractive eating it. And it went down real easy. Probably easier than we'd like to admit. But I will say, blue cheese has a new best friend. His name is Sasha Enough to Pop.
Well, the story behind this dish, when I was a sommelier in New York, I would get out of work, and if I didn't go home, I would only go somewhere where I could eat food. And there were maybe 3 places that I would go to for food after work, and one of them was Vivant in the West Village. And I do this anchovy toast, which the first time I had it was really dark, so you get your piece of sliced baguette, like really airy, so it just like disintegrates in your mouth. And there is a chunk of what I thought might have been cheese. I didn't know what it was. And an anchovy draped over the top. The cheese was actually just a huge chunk of sweet cream butter.
That's awesome.
And it was so wrong and so right. And I loved it so much that I ordered another one. At that point, I think the butter had like kind of started to seep into my veins. And I still ate the second order. Absolutely. So this is it's not exactly that, but it's a rendering of my favorite nighttime snack.
It is your homage.
It is my homage to Vivant. And being paired with the Tremblant Pinot Blanc, because Vivant pretty regularly has the Pinot Blanc by the glass, and because there's good acidity, a little floral aromatics, and sometimes a touch of sugar if it's coming from Alsace. I don't want that to scare anyone away. A little touch is actually really nice, and really nice with the salty anchovy.
Yep.
And then again, same rationale behind pairing this with the tapenade on Chili's dish, the rosé with the anchovies, because anchovies are pretty prevalent in Provençal cuisine. So
I love the thought process. I love the homage, and more importantly, I love butter. So
yeah, there's definitely that.
I'm so excited.
Me too.
I hope it doesn't disappoint.
It's butter and
Okay,
anchovy.
it's butter and anchovy.
Carbohydrate. I think I'll be fine.
Again,
not
the key to this is unsalted butter, salty anchovy.
Oh god.
And again, good to have it. Slice your bread really thin. If you
Even
have a
better
thick
than my.
piece of bread.
Wow.
Whoa. That's so
I
good.
know it's a lot of butter.
It is so good.
But if you don't have cheese and you only have butter, just go
This is
for it.
amazing.
Melted butter is a dip for me.
I regularly
Oh my god,
use
the finish of
pasta
it's
sauce.
so good. It's so good. Don't you want that like the end of your night? Always.
Yeah. It's so good. It's so good.
And it's so good with
Oh,
Pinot Blanc.
fuck yeah. It's so good. I never in a million years would have thought to do this. This is so smart. Oh
I
my
haven't
god.
had this in such a long time.
Yeah, it'll make you cry a little. It'll make
Just
me
a
cry.
little bit. It's really good. And
It's
you can
so good.
you can do this as like the easiest starter if you're having people over.
Yeah.
Oh
And,
yeah,
like, you just need
that's a
to,
great
like-
idea.
I like with the rosé too.
You do like rosé?
Yeah. The rosé brings out more of the anchovy flavor.
I find this rosé a little bit fruity for the anchovy, but I like the finish of it.
Yeah.
It does bring back the anchovy. I'd be curious to try the fruit rosé with this.
Oh yeah.
And then while we're at it, we have champagne. The king of kings when it comes to pairing. Champagne.
And a little bit of a Butterfinger situation over there.
Yeah. Still a pro. She's still got it. Champagne, wait, I'm gonna say Guimeno. The link will be in the description. I apologize for my lack of French
Well, it's
pronunciation
like
ability.
Guillermo.
Yeah,
Like the name.
Guillermo. Guillermo.
I once took a French pronunciation class solely so that I wouldn't sound like an idiot reading labels. It was
Not a bad idea.
Yeah, no, I guess maybe a class that I should
Yeah,
take.
it's something I should do.
I wasn't trying to fool myself that I was going to learn how to speak French and can understand it enough.
Champagne for days, son.
So did we talk about Poulet Fossé?
No. Same producer as the Beaujolais Village. This is Georges Duboeuf, king of kings when it comes to Beaujolais, but also makes a pretty badass Poulet
It
Frisé.
is blunt.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Poulet Fossé is due north of Beaujolais, so actually not that far away. Grape here is all Chardonnay. And
All
it's
Chardonnay.
All delicious.
Yeah. Lightly, gently oaked. A little touch there to round it out, but really lovely, really clean. A little riper than something like a Chablis, but not as expensive as something like a Pouligny or Chassagne Montrachet.
Continue.
It's really solid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for another piece.
Yeah, no, I was just,
I'm
just gonna
I'm
ask.
into it.
We're definitely doing it.
We're all doing it together.
We're already there.
It
We're all
actually,
talking about
that
how
little Poulet Frisé even brought back a little bit of like sardine that was in my, or anchovy that was in my mouth.
If you need to remove some of the butter, I have been known to do that before.
Oh,
after
fine,
that,
girl.
so
I would never do better.
if you're uncomfortable with this chunk.
Too little is what I'm uncomfortable with. I'm offended by your lack of butter. Ooh, that's the win.
The Poulet Fossé.
You know what? I take it back. I actually think the chip box still wins. Brings it back a little bit.
I almost want to confirm that. Should we talk about that last little snack they have on the table?
We should, because this is a
This is kind of a bizarro
this
snack.
is not exactly a shareable situation.
I always have at least one, if not two, jars of almond butter. Salted, I like salty.
Smooth or chunky?
Smooth. Definitely smooth. If I want chunky, I'm gonna eat almonds. This, I always have dried apricots on the salters. And I actually generally do have a chunk of brie or some creamy cheese at all times.
I've lived with you, I know this to be true.
Yeah.
Yep.
The best thing to do, and when you're by yourself, you can eat out of the jar that you take an apricot, a little slice of cheese, and this is a snack if I came home and I've got nothing to eat. I know I have these things and I can't go to bed hungry. So I'll have an apricot, a slice of cheese, and then a little scoop of almond butter, not that small, but you know, maximizing the bite.
I love you so much for this.
And so good.
Like, so much.
Yeah, this is not a combination I would ever think of on my own,
Never.
but I'm really excited about it.
My only regret is that I cut too small a piece of cheese.
Love it.
Champagne is perfect. Champagne is actually
As always,
so perfect.
king of kings. Well,
Awesome.
everyone full? Can we all like go to bed and be happy and feel like we didn't have to eat Kraft macaroni and cheese post work because we're too tired and
Yeah.
we did okay? Yeah, I think we proved our point. After school snacks don't have to just be in the form of a package. They don't have to be in the form of a box. They can actually have some like real elegance and refinement to it, using what you have in your own fridge already. So if this doesn't inspire you as you guys are heading into the fall and the holiday season, which is always packed with everybody being way too busy, I hope this gives you a little bit of inspiration to know that like these are approved snacks from 3 people who have no idea what they're talking about, but love to snack.
But we love food.
We love food and we love to snack. So I hope this helps you guys a little bit. Please be sure to check out the links that are in the description below and the Instagram stories that have gone alongside with this, the release of this video. Thank you so much to all of the producers that helped us out with making this amazing cheese and butter and wine filled video. And I hope that it's not a year before we do this again.